Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about how we're making Slack and all of our hotkeys and programs a little bit more convenient for Mac users. Now before we get into the specific VMH commands, it's important to make sure that you know that Slack actually comes with its own hotkeys, and we build some of our hotkeys on top of those hotkeys. The most important ones you're going to want to know about are first the option up and down. That's to get to the next channel or direct message. And option shift up and down. That's super useful. That gets you to the next unread channel or direct message. Obviously, one of the most useful things that you'll be using in a busy class. Let's talk about the hotkeys that we've now built for Mac users. And you can also, if you're ever in an emergency or using your cell phone, this will also be pretty helpful there. So let's start off by just typing any old question. Let's say we have M3.4. And let's talk about how we can go to the next question, the previous question, or the current question. Next question, you could type NQ. Previous question, it's PQ. And current question is CQ. Now, in addition, you can also just type C for the current question, P for the previous question. Now you can't use N for the next question. For the next question, you have to use NQ. Now, instead of using next, a lot of times you want to have that nice check mark up here. The check mark is cool because as the student gets more questions right, it gets to the next type of check mark, which is makes the process a little bit more enjoyable. There are several ways to access that check mark. You can do type CC. You can just type CK. Whoops, CK. That's kind of short for check mark. But the most convenient way to use that check mark is you're just going to hit the comma button, just a comma by itself, and that's the check mark. And check mark sends a check mark and also gets you to the next question right away. Just like we have to go between questions, we have the same thing for hints. So let's go to M1.1. Let's actually go to M1.2. So let's say I want to go to the next hint. I can type NH for next hint. And I can do the one after that. Looks like I already got to the next hint quite quickly over there. So the idea is NH is for the next hint, PH is for the previous hint, and CH is for the current hint. The final piece that you're going to need if you're using a Mac is, or theoretically a cell phone, is that let's say you want to find a file. So suppose I want to find the factoring file. I type GD, that stands for Google Drive, and factoring. And all of the factoring files are going to pop up. And if you look through this, so let's say you're looking at these buttons, you're like, oh, I don't know which one's which. You can just scroll up a little bit and get the full name. Realistically, you'll probably never really need to use that, but you'll have this over here. And we'll be cleaning up some of these, getting rid of some of the old worksheets so that they won't appear on the search. But anyway, between all of that, the Slack key, the Slack built-in hotkeys that are part of Slack, the P, Q, NQ, and CQ, and that comma button, or just P, C, and the comma button, you'll be able to really use a Mac almost as conveniently as using a PC with auto hotkeys.